Welcome to our January 2021 VSAR meeting training. Tonight's training will be use of Gaia as a navigation app in search and rescue. Tonight's training will be by Don Morgan. We call it Gaia 2 because this is the second online training for Gaia. Gaia is a very useful tool in your navigation toolbox. I don't think it will replace the Garmin GPS handheld yet, at least in our ground pounder searches. But I wanted to show you the experience from the Boynton Canyon search the other night, where the differences between a Garmin, navigation solely by Garmin, or navigation solely by Garmin, and a Gaia phone application shows you a large difference in how the environment, the topography is shown. On the left, you've got a screenshot from a Garmin 700 GPS. It'd be the same on a 600. You see the subject coordinates right here. These are tracks of the search teams. This is actually the first canyon that team number 1 went into. This is the second canyon that team number 2 went into. This rendition is very different from this rendition, which is on Gaia. Here you see the subject coordinates. You see team 2, team 1. Team 1 was searching the first canyon. It is much more obvious where the subject is in relation to you and your topography in the canyons than it is in a Garmin GPS. Even when we enlarge the Garmin GPS, the Gaia offers superior, let's say, intuitive knowledge of where you're at in relation to canyons and subject. Here you can see with topography line, second canyon, here's first canyon, here's the top of mushroom, and it's totally acceptable for those that are very, very used to Garmin GPS screens. The Gaia is also a large, it just has a better rendition because you can get satellite topography maps on Gaia as an example where you can't on the Garmin. So this example of real tracks, real subject coordinates, and using screenshots from a Garmin GPS versus the Gaia show you the evident usefulness of expanding your navigation toolbox to include Gaia as an option. So with that introduction, I want to turn this over to Don, who will take us through training on very commonly and necessary functionality and items that you'll need to use Gaia in search and rescue. Okay, Don? Okay.
So there are a few things. The first training we did when Tim did his the first one, he was on an iPhone. I have an Android, so there'll be slight differences. I'm gonna attempt to go very slow so everyone can keep up. Because there might be differences for the iPhone people where you have to go on your device for the app. And then if anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself and we'll answer those. And then what the plan was is to go over the most common things we use Gaia for, and which would be adding a waypoint, recording a track, and using the map layers. But then I have a section, second half of the training, where we'll go over some other functionality that Tim didn't cover that might be useful in the field for VSAR. So I'm going to go ahead and first say it's pronounced Gaia, not Gaia.
Yeah, so I know. Now we're all Gaia.
It's okay, no worries. I'm just putting that out there. And it is the personification of the earth. That's a Greek mythology, I guess, goddess. So there's a little Greek mythology for you. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I'll do first is, you can see my screen right now. It's my location. We'll start with going over adding a waypoint, which is one of the most common things we would use this for. So in the very top on the status bar, where you see the magnifying glass, the arrows that are pointing outward, the crosshair, the circle with the plus sign, and the stacked layers, you'll want the circle with the plus sign. And that gives you options to add different types of features to the map. And in this case, we want to just add a waypoint. So we click on add waypoint. And what I'm going to do first is just go ahead and watch. You don't have to do this yet because I'm going to put a location in close to where I'm at. And then I'll give you coordinates to a location between the VOC and Sedona. So that way most of you are getting something that's relatively close to where you're at. So I'm going to first at the very top name my waypoint. I'm just going to call it test for now. Okay. And actually, before I was messing around and I didn't put my units back to UTM. Let's do this again.
Yeah, Don, I just suggest you go a little slower and show people where you're.
Yeah, I was just, I'll cover that again later. I just was, while I was messing around, I didn't put it back in UTM. So okay. I will definitely go back to that point. And I will have to flip back and forth because the zoom arrow covers my little map icon down there. So I can't actually click on the map. So we'll go ahead and add a waypoint again. And I will go ahead and name the waypoint. Let's call it test for now. And it automatically comes up with my UTM zone of 12 south of 12S. I'm going to go ahead and put in my coordinates that are relatively local here of 4100. That's annoying. Turn this sideways. Try this again here. So 410057 is my easting. And then I'm going to put in my northing of 384410. That little arrow is really (02). Okay. So these coordinates, I'm going to go ahead and hit over on the far right, it's save and. For some reason on here, it doesn't say save and guide. But I'm going to go ahead and hit that save and. And that's going to show up, zoom out a little bit, my location, just where that 89A icon, little badge is, and then where my point is that says test. And in a minute, on the top left where it says no ETA, that will come up. It takes a minute since I'm inside. And it gives me my distance of 0.9 miles. This is straight line distance. And then my bearing of 25 degrees north to my coordinates. If I was to turn in that direction, you'll see that my compass, once I line that arrow up with that line, be right around 25 degrees north. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead for right now, and I'm just going to click on that point. Shows my location there, my point that I added. And I'm just going to go ahead and there's the little folder icon there. I'm going to save it to an existing folder, which is my Don folder. I think Tim had suggested everyone creates a folder outside of the VSAR folder. And right now that's saved. It gives me my date and time, my distance, my bearing, my coordinates in UTM, my elevation. We'll do, there's a little camera icon there in the field. We'll do geotagging. We'll take a picture and basically geotag it to the coordinate. And then there's some other options we'll go over here in a little bit. So that was adding a waypoint. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you coordinates, and I'll put them in as well.
Don, I have a question.
Yes.
The compass headings, the little box that has the compass headings, it has 150 degrees, then south, and 210 degrees, and
Yes.
all those little hash marks.
Yep.
Is that a function of Android? Because the Apple doesn't have all those little hash marks. It just has maybe the degrees and then the east and north and south.
There may be, okay. Above on your status bar, I'm going to call this the status bar. That's the magnifying glass, the arrows pointing out,
Yes.
the little crosshair. I'm going to call that the status bar. When you click on, hold down on the arrows that are pointing outward.
Okay.
Is your compass on? Is it green like that?
Yes, it is.
Well, there are quite a bit of variations between the iPhone and the Android that I think Tim have I noticed a few. I am not, other than if that's on.
Oh yeah, it's on.
I'm not sure why you do not see the compass.
Oh, I see the compass. I'm not saying that. It's
Okay.
your compass has a lot more hash marks and details in it than my compass does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the difference, but there's display differences between how the Gaia developers are able to use, basically when they design the app, I think between an iPhone and an Android, there's significant display differences.
Yes,
And
I think you're right. It's got to be a display difference
yeah,
between the Android and the iPhone because the compass works and the compass is there. I've used it many times, and
yeah,
it's just
it's,
yours has a little more. It looks like it has a little more detail in it than mine.
yeah, it does have the tick marks. I noticed too, like the record button that you guys, or even the actual the camera icon on your status bar, I don't have that option. I can't even put it on my phone. If I hold down here, there's no place to put the little camera icon where you guys have it right there on the left there.
Okay. Yes.
So there, it's just kind of these differences between the app in Android and in an iPhone.
Yes.
So
I think you're right. Okay, you can go. That's okay. I didn't
no,
mean.
that's fine. No, it's okay. That's great. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in coordinates that I'm going to provide to you guys, and I'm going to go along with this. So we'll go up to the top right-hand corner with the circle and the plus sign. Okay. And we want to go ahead and choose the second option, add a waypoint. And we're gonna want to rename that, and you can name it whatever you would like.
Hey, Don.
So
Yes.
Don, on the iPhones, we don't have a place to name that either.
Okay, you will be able to name it, I think, once you.
When we get finished
Yeah.
tracking it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what
recording
I was
it.
going to say. That's an iPhone difference, Denise, is that
Yes.
when you click, when we click save, then we get an option to name it.
Mhm. Okay.
You get an option to name it, Denise. It's in the, when you add the waypoint.
Right.
There,
Okay.
Right.
there's a menu there. You can change the name.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Question I was changing it from lat long to UTM. How do we do that?
Settings.
I was going to get to that. So is that, or do you want me to go over that right now, Frank? I can if you'd like. Or...
It's your class. You could do it when you wish. That's
Okay.
not-
All right. In a little bit, we'll cover that.
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. All right. So let's just call whatever you want to call this point. I'm just going to call mine test 2. Okay. And we're going to put in the UTM coordinates of the easting is going to be 429887. Let me catch up here with you. And then we're going to do a northing of 3851778. Now, in my case, I'm going to hit save and guide. I don't know if you have the same options I have on the iPhone.
We do.
Okay. I'm going to zoom out a bit because I'm way far from that point. And in a minute, yours guys may have already come up. You'll get your distance and your bearing from your location to that coordinate. Again, like I said, mine, for some reason, when I'm indoors, takes a minute there.
Okay.
And of course, it's taking a little longer than usual since it's training.
That save and guide is a nice feature because it can tell you, okay, what direction is that coordinate from me?
Mhm.
It won't tell you the trails to take, but it'll show you the as a crow flies direction.
Now, when you, yeah, there's my distance in ETA, distance and bearing now. So I'm 13.9 miles away, straight line to at 65 degrees east. Now on the iPhone, did you get an option to save the waypoint's name, or do you then tap on the icon and then save it?
With the iPhone, when you click save and guide,
Then you
go
name
down
it.
to the next menu screen, and the next menu screen is where you name it.
Okay. Okay. So on the point, you can click on it, and then it gives you the information. A little, in my case, it comes up a little tooltip and an icon, an info icon, and it gives me the info of the coordinate and then what I can do, which I'll cover in a little bit. So I'm just gonna hit the little folder icon again, save it in my folder.
Hey, Don?
Yep.
On my point, my test 2 point, I tap on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not getting, I'm not getting that menu like that.
No.
Maybe zoom in a little bit on it
Okay.
and make sure you're hitting right on that.
Yeah, I'm not getting it. I'm not
No.
used to it. I wonder if there's a setting that affects that.
I'm not getting it either.
I'm not getting it either.
Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, the differences are, I think you may have to go to your saved folder in the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay.
It's in the save folder. You don't do the iPhone doesn't do that. It's in the save folder. All that information is in the save folder.
Yep.
Yep, so go to saved and then go to your folder. And then under your folder, there'll be a waypoints section. And you should be able to find it there and click on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, slight differences.
Mm-hmm.
But was that, Denise, did that answer your question of how to?
No.
No, okay. Here, I'll go back here. Go ahead and watch. So, you know, down the bottom right hand, I'll go back to map.
Okay.
At least I'll try to go back to map.
Yeah, I got it to a folder and I've got like, this is what comes up.
Yeah, I won't be able to see it
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
It comes up. Ah, there it is. It finally came up.
Okay.
I'll
So
show you.
The degrees.
I'll show you where that is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's okay. I got up. I'm not sure that this is right, but it's got all of that information like you had.
Okay,
Okay,
cool. And we could cover it in the field training too.
sure.
Yeah, so no worries. Okay, I'm going to use my little back arrow on the bottom right-hand corner to, because I cannot click on the map icon without
Yeah.
opening up this thing right here. Okay, so we've covered adding a coordinate in.
Mhm.
We clicked guide me and waited for the bearing and distance. Add and say waypoint. Okay, I want to quickly show you how to place a point on the map. Now you obviously can use, this might not be totally valuable, but you never know. I'm gonna stop the track to that point. So I'm back at my location, and normally if I wanted my coordinate where I'm at, I would, in the top right-hand corner, where I would normally add a waypoint, I'd click on that circle and plus sign, and I could just add a waypoint at my location, right?
Right, okay.
So, okay. But maybe for some reason you may be out somewhere and you need to put a point in on the map, place it on the map. So if you go anywhere on your map and you hold down your finger on the map for a second, it'll come up with hopefully something like this.
Don, this is Alan. Just real quick, how did you stop that track? What's the easiest way to
Oh,
stop that track?
No problem. Let me go back here. What I'm gonna do is go back to my point here, okay? I'm gonna guide me to that point. So let me get it started up here. Take a minute. Oh, that point's actually gonna be,
I think you needed to pick test 2, Don. Or
Yeah,
test.
yeah, it'll come up with something, but yeah, I'll do that. I'm gonna go to my saved folder in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm gonna actually, if you notice next to the folders, there's a little eye, looks like an eyeball with a cross sign. That means those features in those folders, those waypoints, those tracks, those maps, those are turned off on the map. You won't see them. So I want to turn that on. So the eye is now is not crossed out anymore. I'm going to go back to my map. And now my test point is over here. So I'm going to click on it and hit guide me. Now, I don't know if you notice, Alan, you see the green box with the white X?
Green box with the white X.
So on the top left, where mine currently says no ETA yet, because it needs to catch up. You see on my phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now on yours, if you click on one of your test points and guide yourself to it, hit guide me.
Okay. Oh, yes,
That
I
will,
see the X now.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now if I wanted to just turn that off, I hit that X.
Okay, got it.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I went a little too fast on that. I will.
Don, this is Tom. Is there any way you can turn on your mouse so we can see what you're clicking on and hitting?
It's not really, it's my finger.
Oh,
I don't, this is actually on my phone. So that's why I'm trying to explain where I'm going, but I'll try to make a better effort to explain like where I'm actually going to go to before I click on it. Yeah, I don't I don't really have a mouse per se for my phone.
So on the iPhone, guys, it's just an X against a white background, just opposite of Don's, which is a white X and a green background.
I might not even see on that. So I was just.
What was it? No, go ahead, Tom. What was you weren't seeing the, let me show it again, okay? So you see my test point right here, right?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna click on that point, that waypoint.
Yep.
And the little information thing, and I'm gonna guide where my current location is to that point. I'm gonna hit this guide me.
Yeah, that I did not see, and I was just saying that,
Okay.
that you could highlight that.
Yeah,
some way
I will try to.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks.
Okay, no problem. So I'm gonna stop that track again, or that bearing, by hitting the X. Okay, back out here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my features that are in my folder again. It gets a little busy sometimes. Okay. Oh, all right. To place a point on the map. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, just a little northeast of my current location, okay? And you could do this on your phone, and just hold your finger on the screen for a second. I'll wait. Did everyone get something similar to this?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I got it.
Pencil. My pencil with the green circle background. And a blue
Yeah.
dot next to it.
So yeah, Denise, if you want to pan to another location on the map and then just hold your finger on your screen for a second.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we're just placing a point on the map, and the circle with the pencil, if you click on that, in my case, it's going to say name a waypoint. I don't know what it's going to do for you guys on the iPhones. Hopefully name a waypoint.
It
Yep,
does.
same thing.
Okay. So I clicked on name a waypoint, and I'm going to put my cursor in there. I'm going to type in TEST3. You can call it whatever you'd like. And I'm going to save that. So now you have a point on the map, that little waypoint icon. And if you click on that, tap on it, and tap on that edit tool again, that little green, blue circle with the pencil. Oops, wait a minute. Oh. Oh, my bad. Ha, I didn't save it. So let me go back. This one always gets me. All right, I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna hold down on the screen. I'm gonna get the blue circle with the pencil. I'm gonna tap on that. I'm gonna name the waypoint. I'm gonna hit save. Now that just saved the name of the waypoint. You notice on my phone in the top right-hand corner, I still have to actually save the waypoint. So I hit save in the top right-hand corner, and there's my waypoint. Now, if I tap on it, in my case, I get the pop-up. You may have to go to your saved folder. Now I get the distance and bearing and UTM coordinates and elevation of that point. So I didn't put coordinates in, it just took off the map. It took the coordinates off of where and it's really not the map, it's actually the GPS on your phone and the map, I guess. I could save that to my,
Okay.
and save that to my Don folder. Did anyone have questions or have problems with that?
No, that worked for me on the iPhone. That would be very useful, Dawn, for when you see, for example, a fire on a distant hill and you have your satellite map and you know exactly what the hill is. You can put the point on there, then you can give then the deputy the coordinates of where that would be. Very
And
useful.
that's a good application then, yeah.
You
Okay,
can also
great.
use it to I often use it for something like marking an intersection of trails that I want to get to see how far away it is. And knowing that I need to turn when I get to that. So I want to set that waypoint.
Good.
That's good. Two great applications.
Also be useful for projecting a waypoint too. If you got to project a waypoint someplace in the field.
Well,
Mhm.
that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, I want to project it to an intersection of a trail or something like that.
Exactly. That's what you'd use it for.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, great. Cool, okay. Now, getting to Frank's question, changing units. So, let's do this. On the point you just placed, well, we know that it's in UTM, okay? And in the very top, you see it's 12 South, 409, 384, right?
Not south.
Not south, no, it's the zone, I know. It's
12S.
You're right. All right, so let's put that in degrees minutes. So in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen under settings, tap settings. And you should come up with, well, let me arrow back because it normally comes up with something like this. Okay. And under settings, in my case, it's the third option down is units. I don't know where it is on the iPhone.
It's also a third option down.
Okay. Once I'm in units, the next third option down is select coordinate type. And
That's the very first option at the top.
okay, yeah, again, so. And then we want to do degrees, decimal minutes. I believe that's for the helicopter, right?
Yep, yep.
Okay, so I change that. You'll see it now reads select coordinate type as degrees, decimal minutes. Now, if you go back to your map, I'm gonna arrow back on my case. You can hit your little map icon. Let me turn on my, where'd my point go? Oh, maybe it's because that's off. There we go. Okay. So my test 3 here, if I tap on my, that's the one where we all placed a point on the map.
Right.
You'll notice you guys may have to go to your saved folder and bring it up and then show it. But now you'll notice that it's 34 degrees and 43.7675 minutes north, 111 degree, well, my case, 111 degrees, 59.1091 minutes west.
Got it.
So you'll notice that even though we placed the waypoint in the same, I mean, it's one location, we can change the coordinate type of how it's, displayed by just going into the settings and changing the units. And it doesn't, if I went back and did UTM, it would move it back to UTM. If let me go ahead and I'm going to go back to settings in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to hit in the settings units. Under units, I'm going to hit select coordinate type. And I'm going to put it in decimal degrees, the very top option. If I go back to my map, you can hit map. I'm going to arrow back. And now if let me tap on my point, see that it's 34 point, lat is 34.72946, longitude of negative 111.98515.
Got it.
So that's how you can easily toggle between coordinate types. Did that answer your question, Frank? I know you guys are on mute and let me put you guys on gallery view. You could just give me a thumbs up then.
There you go. I'll need some help, but that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
That's great.
Did you, okay.
Don, I have a question.
Yes.
This is Peg. On that screen that you were just on, the information screen, at the bottom it says delete. Does that just delete the last action that you see, the red where it says
Yeah,
delete? at the
that will
bottom?
delete that waypoint,
Oh, the whole thing. Okay,
the whole thing, yeah.
thank you.
So, yep, you're welcome.
So what I find on the Android is I have to use my back arrow key to get out of that because there's no exit option.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
That might be what you're looking for, Peg.
No, I just wondered what it was deleting, if it was just the last command or.
Yeah, the whole
there's a lot of-
the whole
There's a lot of
waypoint.
options there. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. All right. Let's actually, before we do that, let me just go back and change my units back to UTM. Okay. All right. Let's record a track. Now I know on the iPhone, you can record a track. Where I have distance, I think you can hit record track.
Correct.
On the Android, we don't have that option. And
I've got it on mine.
well, on my Android, I don't have that option.
Well, so have you looked down when you're over there? Have you done the scroll bar to see if there's record under there?
Oh.
Record button right there, very top.
Okay. Yes, that you are correct. I was thinking about the sorry, the camera the
Yeah,
camera
right,
icon.
right.
Okay. But I don't find the need to utilize this space with that button. and where I could use something else, let's just choose distance for now. Because if I want to record a track on the circle icon in the top right, on the circle icon with the plus sign, I can just record a track here. So, why take up that space on your status bar with a button that you only might use when you start a track, right?
Yep.
Now on the iPhones, I know you guys see a few more windows there. I'm going to turn my phone in the landscape position, and you'll see that's where I can, and the same thing for you, you'll probably see more options.
Okay.
Now, yep. If you want to change any of these, you just hold your finger down on them for a second, and then you can move these up and down to whatever option you'd like. You'll notice that this is kind of a display issue with Android. I'm barely on max elevation, but it says I'm mostly on max elevation, but it says it's min elevation. You see that?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of a,
So Don,
yes.
what did you push to bring all those up?
Okay, I'll show you again.
Okay.
Let me go back to the kind of the regular screen here. Okay, I'm just gonna, you see where it says distance of 1 foot?
Yes.
In your case, whatever yours says, just hold down on that.
I have record or
Okay.
camera. So if
Yeah.
I hold
On the
down
record
on it,
on the record button, just hold on. Instead of just tapping it, hold down on it for a second.
okay.
And you should see something like what you have options to choose. You can scroll through.
No, it brings up, it starts recording it, or it says track, pause recording, finish track, or delete track.
Or
I
just to hold it longer,
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, well, I think that's because it's the record button. Try, instead of the record one,
Mhm.
to the right of that, you have your coordinates there maybe?
I have the camera
How about to the right of that?
elevation.
Okay, hold down on elevation.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on any of those little, each one of those is its own little window, you can think of it as.
Okay.
But when you hold on any one of them, apparently other than the record button,
Mhm.
it comes up with this option screen for all of the little windows. So if I turn it sideways and I hold down on any of these, like total time, you notice I can go through all of them and change all of them if I wanted to.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
interesting that it doesn't, on my Android, I have the same problem you do in that you have to almost be on the one above it to pick it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, really?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, really?
Okay, so let's record a track. So if you want to use your record button, that's fine. I'm gonna go in the top right-hand corner and choose the circle with the plus sign, like I would be adding a waypoint. But instead, I'm going to, oh, no, that's funny. Okay.
You might have already started the record because I have the same problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably do.
You
So let
can
me go to
just-
my trip. Okay, in the bottom, at the very bottom, I have trip. And I'm gonna tap on that. Crap. Hate that thing. I have to turn my phone sideways again, sorry. I'm gonna hit trip. Yeah, I got one going. So I'm gonna stop that for right now. I'm gonna tap on the time there, and I'm just gonna delete that because I already had one going. I wanna start from the beginning, okay? And let's go back to my map. Okay. Top right-hand corner, circle with the plus sign. Now I have at the very top record track. Okay. Now I can't see anything on here right now that's really telling me that. But typically I could always, well, I would just hit trip in the bottom, the very bottom here. And then that's going to give me my duration, all the statistics, elevation, distance, the ones kind of we're interested in, distance, things like that. Now, Tim and I were going over this last week, and this another difference between iPhone. Hey, it's Mom. Sorry, Mom. There you go. Another difference between an Android and iPhone, and on my screen in the top right-hand corner, you see that thing looks like a Wi-Fi symbol.
Mhm.
I don't think you guys have that on the iPhone, but when I tap on it,
We do.
oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Tim doesn't. He's the loser.
I have it.
Okay.
Where's it
I got
at,
it
Denise?
too.
I think that's your normal iPhone satellite. Denise.
On Trip, under Trip,
Yeah, on
Right at the
Trip,
top where your power is, where it shows your power.
right corner.
top right-hand corner.
That's your
It's like
Wi-Fi.
the circle and two little lines under it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
When you tap on it, does it show something like this, satellites?
No, it gives me my coordinates, the
Oh.
latest time and GPS accuracy.
Okay, but it's definitely coming from the app and not something else. So yeah, that's weird because Tim's doesn't even have the button.
Well, Don, that's the difference is when I found that button,
Uh-huh.
you got all the satellites just like our Garmin would show.
Oh, yeah, that's
That
right.
was the difference, okay?
Okay,
I just
gotcha.
had GPS accuracy plus or minus 16 feet in the coordinates.
Okay,
Don't
Okay.
have all that same information. So, but I do have that icon on the iPhone. It's just a
Okay.
different information it gives you. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry, I forgot that. And actually, really, honestly, probably the plus minus of the accuracy is the most important thing on there, really. I mean, it's irrelevant whether you can see a graph of satellites or not. So, okay. Since I was there, I wanted to show that. So go to Trip. Okay, remember, okay. So that's the nuts and bolts of it. I mean, really, now if I want to stop let me do this first. Oh, in my case, I can name my track right here while it's, oh, no, maybe I can't. Oh yeah, I can. Nope, I can't. So I would have to stop the track.
Actually,
So
you're right, it's not.
I'm gonna stop the track by just clicking on the time there that's ticking in that box. And I'm gonna go ahead and finish my track.
Okay.
And now here, it doesn't give me the option immediately to save it. In my case, I have to, waiting room. Okay.
Ours
Tom might
gives
have a
us
question.
a place to save it, and then it up in the top right corner, and then the first line says edit or choose title.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my case, I have to hit the little icon in the top right-hand corner, little pencil, and then name it here.
Yeah, so Denise, where you see edit or choose tack, that's where you name it like Boynton or
Right.
Cathedral. Okay.
Tom, did you have a question?
No, I'm all set. I actually just switched over to my laptop.
Okay.
I'm set. Thanks, bye.
No problem. All right, I'm gonna, again, in here, the little folder icon, I'm gonna save it to my, I wish you could set like a setting in the settings section where it defaults to a folder. That would be a nice thing for them to have. But so that's my track. It's probably right here, and it's probably, go back to my settings, turn this back. Oh, it's on.
Okay.
Back to saved. Oh, I guess since I didn't move anywhere, it's probably actually underneath that arrow. So, okay. Pretty good on covering recording tracks. Okay. Now we're going to get into using map layers. I know, again, this is one of the things Tim covered in the first training, but I'm going to go over it again and see if anyone has any questions. So in the top right-hand corner, you have your little, look like little stacks of paper. These are your layers. So these are what Gaia provides as far as the maps that are available to display in your app. Tim had recommended the top 4 that I have in my visible layers: the U.S. Forest Service roads and trails, the Nat Geo Trails Illustrated, the satellite topo in feet. Oops, actually, I think I may have brought that other. Was it the USFS 2016 or was it the? Oh, that one's on there.
It's,
Oh,
yeah,
actually, I
it's
think.
USFS 2016. That's a typical Forest Service map.
Okay, I must have typed something wrong in my notes there, but these are the right ones, right, Tim?
Yeah, and the
Yep,
satellite
okay.
with labels. Yep, that's the best one.
Yeah, okay. So let me go to an area that we're more all familiar with. Let's go to. Let's go to Yavapai Vista. Okay, so what we currently have on now, if I tap on my layers, is you'll notice that the USFS roads and trails, the green circle is at the very far left, and same thing with the other 2. So those are not visible right now, those 3 layers. The only thing that's visible right now is what's currently the base layer, which is the satellite with labels. And this layer is kind of a combination. I was talking with Tim last week. It's kind of a little bit new to me how they did this, but they combined a image and they combined all the lines and points and everything that you see on there into one map, kind of. Usually they are separate layers onto themselves, but that's fine. And what's nice about this is that the satellite with labels has the newer trails, has some of the Forest Service roads. This one does not have the contours, don't believe. So that's kind of a disadvantage. Has some trailhead, like the trails are labeled. You have some trailhead markers. You have paved roads in the imagery. I mean, you have the imagery. So basically you have anything that you can, so you have buildings, and you notice as when you zoom in, if I'm zoomed out, you'll lose resolution, but then I don't know if you notice right here, it's kind of fuzzy.
Yeah.
But if I zoom in a little closer and I'm just moving my fingers apart, it kind of gets a little better, at least from what I can tell. Now, this might be, it's questionable how helpful this is on trails. You can see the trail, but you also have the line. But the lines are not, as you can see, they don't follow exactly the trail.
Hey, Don.
But yes.
So this is a good chance to show them how they can lose or see the trail names when you zoom in and out.
Okay, sure.
Bell Rock Pathway, show them how you lose it when you zoom out.
Yeah. So you can only, at certain zoom levels, you can only draw so many labels and features in the same view. So you notice as I zoom out, probably what's happening is that Little Horse Trailhead and the Bell Rock Pathway labels were overriding the ones that you were seeing before. If I zoom back in, you see the Bell Rock Pathway label on that line again. But as I zoom out, you lose that. So if you find that you're utilizing the map and you're expecting to see something, you may have to zoom in closer. Just at the zoom level you're at, it can't draw everything on the screen, or it'll be a mess. So
sometimes you don't see any trail names until you zoom in closer.
yeah, yep. Okay. So that is the kind of the, like Tim suggested, the map that really is pretty helpful with the imagery and the trails on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do each one of these individually so you can kind of see the difference. And the other thing I want to show before I move on, I guess, in the, well, you can't see it on this one as well. Let me bring on the US Forest Service roads and trails.
Don, that's important what you just did. Describe, like from zero transparency to
Yeah,
100%.
I'm going to get back. Yeah, I was going to get back to that. I just wanted to show this. You can't see it on here either. All right, let me do that. Okay. So back in the visible layers, that's the top 4. The top 3 are currently turned off. They're in there, but they're turned off. They're kind of invisible. As I move for the US Forest Service roads, when I move that little bar to the right,
Mhm.
that layer will come in more to what's called 100% opacity. And I think might be a really good way to show this if I actually turn my phone sideways, because I want to. Watch this. Watch the map, not what I'm doing with my hand.
We can't see your hand anyway.
Yeah. You notice how at 50%, here's like 75%,
Mhm.
here's 100%, and I go down to like 25% and like 0. So I could have my satellite with labels on, and maybe I want my USFS roads and trails on at like 50. I'm going to turn back this way. You see how I'm getting, if we go back to that area, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell here. It'd probably be if I went to an area. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, went to like where there's some forest roads. Let's go up. Oops, let me turn the, I'm going to turn off all that colored lines or tracks from make this invisible again so you don't see that. Let's go up here. So you'll notice, let me go ahead and go back to turn my phone sideways here. And I'm gonna, some forest roads and trails. I'm gonna go back to my layers. And I'm gonna, it's kind of hard because this covers it. I'm gonna turn USFS roads and trails completely off. And then I'm gonna slowly bring it back on. And you see how they're over in the far left under that 152C. There weren't roads there before on the satellite with labels, but now there are on the roads and trails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to my top right-hand corner, more layers. I'm gonna make my USFS roads and trails invisible again. Now I'm gonna move my satellite with, the only way to, you notice the satellite with labels doesn't have a scroll bar. If it's in your visible layers, it's there. So I'm gonna move it. There's to the right of satellite with labels is the little, looks like a spreadsheet maybe.
Mhm.
If I hold down on that and drag that down, that's gonna go into my available layers, but not visible, okay? So it's still there. I can bring it back up, but you can't see it right now. Now, if I go back, right now, my USFS 2016 layer is my base layer. Even though doesn't have the scroll bar, it's actually the one that's on. It's the one you see in the background here.
Okay.
Because the other layers, you can tell they're not on because the scroll bar is all the way to the left. Now with the USFS 2016, that's probably, I think, what, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, what the 4x4 unit would primarily utilize.
Yeah, that would be the standard for the 4x4.
Okay. And that's, the Forest Service roads, has the contours, not really that great for trails. Trying to see, let me think if you can see what this might look like. I'm gonna bring my satellite with labels back up here. Oh, you can do opacity on that. So, okay, so at the very top, we have the USFS roads and trails off, Nat Geo trails and Illustrator are off. The satellite labels are all the way up, but that's probably covering, you'll notice that's going to be covering up my US Forest Service 2016 map. I can't see the contours. I can't see the labels of the forest roads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my map labels, and I'm going to reduce the opacity of my satellite with labels. I'm going to make that down to maybe I'll make it 25%, somewhere around there. Now, if I go back to my map, you kind of get both. You see, now you got the trails in there, and you get your contours, and you get your forest road, numbered forest road icons. So it's really, you can play with these depending on your situation. Probably most likely the satellite with trails is the best one for the hikers. But I find that I'm going to turn off that, and I'm going to bring on the Nat Geo Trails Illustrated one. It's really busy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff going on there. Maybe somebody else might find that it's good, but I think definitely the satellite with trails is the better option.
That's the one I like the best right there.
Oh, you like this one?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I put that on usually on most of the time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I use that one too.
Okay. Yeah. I guess, personal preference and I guess the advantage, well, I don't know. Maybe then, because I think if we went with
What I like about it, Don, is it gives the trail names and some of the rock features in the area
okay.
on that.
Okay.
That sometimes is helpful.
Okay. Yeah, because on the satellite with trails, it has them. You have to maybe zoom in a little more on some cases. But yeah, I mean, again, personal preference and whatever works for you, that's what you should use. So, let's see. The other one was we didn't cover I think we kind of covered them all.
We didn't, yeah, yes, you covered them all, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Let's look at what the USFS roads and trails is overlaid on the USFS 2016.
That one?
No, go back. The top one, roads and trails. You see, now that adds additional dimension. That adds trails onto you Forest Service 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
Yeah.
normally the Forest Service 2016 only has Forest Service roads. These red show you the trails, but I'm not sure the names are on the trails. I don't see the names on the red lines are the trails.
You have to zoom in enough to get to
Zoom
it.
in,
Yeah, see, there they are. Okay.
zoom in.
You
Okay.
see, that's
Yep, they're
another
there.
option for roads and trails on the Forest Service
Mhm.
2016 map.
Yep, that's good. Actually, that's a good combo for the 4x4, I would think.
Yeah, it would be like there you see Forest Service Road 9586 right next to Arizona Cypress Trail in Dawa. So that I found is also a good option in addition
Okay,
to the satellite with labels. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the U.S. Forest Service roads and trails and the Forest Service 2016. Okay. Okay. Did anyone have questions about the layers, the opacity, moving them around?
I have one question.
Sure.
So when we first, the very first screen we saw before you started doing everything, it was showing the difference between the Garmin and the Gaia.
Oh.
And it was showing the Gaia having just like almost like a 3D feel to it. Is that a different map setting that we just didn't see to get that detail in it? Or am I just missing something here?
Well, what
Tim showed us.
Tim showed, yeah. Well, the GPS has basically one map. You can't toggle between. Maybe there's another. Maybe there might be a couple more options. The Gaia app on the phone has many options, plus the imagery. You don't have the imagery on the GPS. It has contours, so you get a little contour definition, but that you could do the same thing in the Gaia app with one of the Forest Service maps.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
Ali,
maybe. Go ahead.
Since I put that image together, I should probably answer that. Ali, that was one of the satellite topo maps, and it was just zoomed in enough that you could see the definition of the canyons and the mountains, and then it appeared very 3D. So the satellite map that Don is showing you, hey Don, maybe you can go up to Boynton Canyon on here and see if what Ali was seeing we can reproduce with this. Oh, to the left a little. Yep.
Yep. Over there.
There we go. There it is.
Okay, yeah. So once you zoom in more, you'll get more of that definition to
Yeah.
it.
That's right.
And can really.
Cool. And you're referring to the actual image, right? The rocks.
The
and
imagery
stuff.
of the rocks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where you're
yeah,
getting
yeah,
more of
yeah.
that actual versus the lines of everything. You're actually
Yep.
getting the actual rock.
Yeah, there's no imagery on the GPS.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, satellite imagery, I should say. Yeah, I mean the picture.
As I
Don,
answered,
this is-
Ali, you were
Don, this
asking
is
how did
Alan.
we get that 3D image? This is how on Gaia with the satellite topo map. It's not 3D. It seems like it when you can see the rock in the canyon.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually a two-dimensional picture.
But that image is invaluable when you're at night and you don't know where in the heck you are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
It really is an invaluable image to have, and the availability of that on your phone is worth every bit of it.
Don, this is Alan. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
Alan. Yep.
I don't have the USFS roads and trails, and I don't see
Yeah.
it when I try to add map layers.
It's hidden in the let me think here. I know where it's at. It's
I
in
found it.
the
It is
it's in a
hidden.
weird. I think it's like in the where is it at?
Would it be under add map layers?
It's in
Well,
a
I
weird.
did that, but I don't see it.
I think it might be in the.
I think it's feature weather overlays. Feature
Yeah.
weather overlays.
Might
Not
have
in an
that.
obvious spot.
Alan, when you add a map, you can add a map at the bottom of that. Map.
Right, I know how to do that. I just can't find that particular one.
Not in a category you would normally think. I had to go through all of them to find it.
I think it's feature weather overlays.
I think that's right. I remember sending out an email after the last
Yep.
class where I found where it was.
Funny
And I
thing
think-
is, I don't see the feature.
Well, that's because you don't have it in there. You need to go to add a new map to get to the list.
But I had it in there.
Well, that's got a whole bunch of maps in it though. That grouping
Yeah.
has many maps. So go to where you can add a map.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Where it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Future weather overlays.
That's where it is. That's exactly where
Yeah.
it is.
It's got 48 different maps and they keep adding to this. I keep getting emails where they keep adding more options that might be interesting.
There
Okay.
it is
So
right there.
right there.
USFS.
Okay, I've got it, but now I need to, it says I need to delete one of the ones I have in order to add this one. So obviously I need satellite with labels and Nat Geo, the ones you covered, USFS 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I have Gaia. Gaia, do I not need that one?
Yeah, wait, can you just, is it
Or
not?
USGS topo I have up there. Can I get rid of one of those two?
Yeah, one of those two you can probably get rid of.
And Alan, I don't think it's the ones at the top that are causing you. It's probably the total number of maps you have down at the bottom even, and you might be limited. Are you not signed in with the premium membership?
Yes, I am.
You
Okay.
are, okay.
Are you on the iPhone, Alan, or the Android?
iPhone.
Okay.
So you're having a limitation on your inactive choices?
No, on the
Sure.
active one. So I have it now. I just had to eliminate one of the ones at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
top.
So for the
Yeah.
active ones, we can only have so many on the top and the rest have to be pushed down to the inactive.
Yeah, like I try to add, oh. Okay, well, I can add quite a few actually.
Yours says visible and layers and ours says active and inactive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions so far? Alrighty. We will move on to downloading maps, utilizing the app. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go to an area that's kind of out from where we normally are, just to kind of show. Let's just go up north of the Red Rock Secret Mountain Wilderness, right around here. Obviously you can go anywhere on your map that you'd like. Typically, I think that if you have the maps that we have are, what happens is you typically when you download, you go into the app for the first time and you pick an area, and the map layers that you bring in, it's gonna download most of the tiles, if not all the tiles for that area. So you can use your app, you don't need to download a map in that case. But if you're in an area where you did not downloaded those tiles, then you would need to download the map to your phone to be able to see that area.
And
So
you're talking cache, right, Tim? Right, Don?
yeah, yeah,
Cache memory. So
yeah.
depending on
It'll cache until you run out of memory.
Right,
But
right.
it's not gonna. You can't take the whole state of Arizona. I mean, maybe I don't know how much it takes up. I imagine if you try to do the whole state of Arizona, you'd probably might max out the memory on your phone.
Right.
Let's just. I'm gonna go to let's do this. This Boynton tank here, south 40 there. So
While you're doing that, Don, Gaia just did come out with a new ability to download the entire state. And
okay.
I think Arizona was like 62 or 75 megabytes or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
So I was able to download the entire state.
The entire state. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in case though, say for example, I guess a better example would be if you want to download the map and then send it to somebody. So they have a map of the area. So what you can do is, get the area that you want to basically make a map of. And in the top right-hand corner, you can utilize the circle with the plus sign. And you can hit the download map option. And I think most of you will have a red box with the dots at the corners. In the top, you can see on mine, I don't know if you have the same thing on yours, it's telling you how many actual tiles, just under 800 tiles, 23.3 meg of memory that area will take up at that zoom level, which is 15. Now the zoom level, it's the easiest thing I think of way to think about it is it's relative. So if you have a zoom level of 18, that's going to have more detail than like a zoom level of 12. So the higher the zoom level, the more detail you're going to have.
And the more tiles it will require.
The more tiles, the more memory.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, you want to keep in mind that this is for areas where you have no cell phone service. If you have no cell phone service in some of those blind canyons, you really need to have the map downloaded to your phone, because you're not going to be able to find get a map on your phone. When
Well, your map layers that you have are going to still be available to you without a cell signal.
Oh,
In cache, in your memory cache.
I think that's only up to a certain point. I think you have them downloaded. Am I wrong, Don?
No, I mean, if you have like the maps, the 4 maps that we have, if you have it for our area and what Jill has said, if you've done the whole state, those are downloaded to your phone.
No, I'm talking about not if you don't have it downloaded to your phone.
Well, yeah, oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, then
You're in an area with no cell phone service, you won't have the maps available.
correct, yes. If you say you're in, up in Flag and you didn't get that area of those maps, the layers that we were going through, if you didn't get that area downloaded to your phone, prior to being up there, and you don't have a cell signal, then you won't be able to see the imagery and the line work and all the stuff that those layers have.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
But just to clarify that, just to make sure I understand, so if while you were still at home, you opened up the Gaia app on your phone and you went to that area on the map, won't it download that into your phone's memory?
Yeah,
and cache?
it's saving those tiles.
Yeah, so they will be there without actually downloading them if you viewed it while you were with cell coverage or at home.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Without downloading.
But if you don't do that and you're in an area like in Fay Canyon where you have no cell phone service,
Yeah.
you don't have that map downloaded to your phone, you will not have that map available. Is that clear?
But you have the layers that you've
It only
You
if you
viewed.
downloaded it to your phone.
okay.
If you got it on your phone, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have it downloaded on your phone and you have no cell phone service, you have no maps.
Hey,
That-
Don,
Yes.
I think what we're discussing here is there's temporary memory, that's the cache, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
hey, Kern was saying when you look at them on your phone at home,
Mm-hmm.
they're in your cache or temporary memory. That would work, Peg. One problem is you may not be able to zoom in and out,
Right.
that cache.
It depends on what you looked at when you were at home, I think.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
When Don is talking about downloading them, you download a digital copy of that to the equivalent of the hard disk on your phone.
Mhm.
And that's what we need to learn to do. That's what we recommend with some of these maps.
Yeah, and clearly to be safe, you want to do the download so that you have it. And that way you don't worry about whether you've browsed to that spot while you still had cell coverage or you were at home.
Yeah, I highly recommend downloading the key maps we talked about of the areas that we do searches in. I've downloaded them, all of those to my phone at high resolution, and it's about 10 gigabytes.
Do you have to download each layer separately, or does it download multiple layers based upon our layering setup? Does it download all of them, or do you do each one?
Each layer is separate.
Each layer separately, okay.
So USFS 2016 would be a separate download layer.
Yeah.
And Geo map would be a separate download layer.
Yep.
And like Don was saying, it's important that you pick the appropriate resolution, like a 15 or a 16. Because when you like on a satellite, when you want to go into trails and you're only at a 10 or 12, it just becomes too blurry when you try to say, okay, which way would this trail go? Or like the side trails, you wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah, that's actually happened to me based on cache where I hadn't downloaded it yet, but I had viewed it at home, but I hadn't gone into enough detail. So when we were out on the 4x4 drive, it was blurry for me.
Yep. Difference is temporary memory and cache versus
Right.
permanent memory download to your phone.
Yep.
Don, back to you.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's good. You can adjust the sizing of your downloaded map by putting your finger on the circles I'm moving the top right-hand one to the bottom left-hand one. Moving it back out. I'm moving the top left out. Moving the top left back in. Okay,
And you can move the whole thing by hitting the center and moving that.
and then moving that. Yep. Okay. And then I'm going to leave it at the max zoom level so I get the best resolution. And then I'm going to, in the bottom right hand, hit save. Let's call this map 1. Save the name of the map. Now you'll notice it's starting to download in the top right, on the very top of my screen. It's, see the Gaia GPS, it's downloading. So that, until that's done, I won't have the map on my phone yet. I said downloads are complete. So I'm going to go to my saved maps. So in the bottom right-hand corner under the saved folder, I'm going to tap on my folder. I'm going to scroll down to maps. And there's my map 1.
Now that's listing all the different layers there.
It is, I see that, Peg. Yep.
I think this is the new feature, guys, that I was telling you about.
Oh,
Okay.
so it does.
I'll send you the alert that I got that said that we could do that. Now I didn't check its resolution completely, but I think it's a new feature that gives us more opportunity.
Yeah, if you can download the 4 layers you've got up on your layers up in the top part of that, that'd be great.
That is.
Oop, sorry. Okay, to download. Okay, so that was actually you can also, if we go back to saved in the bottom right-hand corner, go back to my folder, back to my map. I thought you gave you the option to.
What are you looking for?
To send it.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. Okay, let me go back. Top right-hand corner, you see a little person with the plus sign. I have it. I don't know if it's the same on the iPhone.
yeah, share.
And then it'll come up with your options to share. Now, this is a what's it saved as? You're not going to be able to text this. If I go to messages, this is my text messenger. I go to Tim. Oh, I'm wrong. All right, so that's right. It's the hyperlink. Okay, so it's going to send a hyperlink to Tim, and he can click in his Gaia app or his email, click on the hyperlink, and then that will load that map into his Gaia app.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead and do that and I'll see how it works.
Okay, sure.
Yep. I just got a text from you. Okay. It says tap to load preview. Going to the Gaia webpage, you know, the not the app, but it's going to the Gaia webpage.
On your phone?
Yeah, it's going to the Gaia webpage via the browser on my phone.
Okay, gotcha.
And I see Well, it's probably too much for tonight, but I did get the text and it took me to the Gaia GPS, and it must be a way of downloading it then to your Gaia GPS web account, which then will link back with your phone.
And that would sync, yeah. So on the settings in the, and you guys can do this, you could make that download map, save it, send it to yourself, email it to yourself. And then when it opens up in your web browser in the actual Gaia website, you should then be able to go to your settings in the bottom right-hand corner of your phone and go to your account and then hit the sync. And then that should download that map to your phone. But that should work.
Okay.
That should work without having to go to the.
Yeah, so let's work on that a little bit, Don. That might be a little more advanced for, and I would rather,
Yep.
downloading your maps would be what you should focus on here.
Yep.
Once we get that done, then we can see how useful that sharing map is, okay?
Okay. All right. Any more questions on downloading maps?
I just checked, guys. The entire state is only the Gaia topo map.
Okay.
And there is some adjustment in size for the resolution.
Okay, thank you. So now we're going to cover some miscellaneous items, kind of new stuff or stuff we didn't cover in the first one. On the taskbar at the very top, you can the crosshair. There's kind of, let me tap on it right now. That's going to take me to my location. That's basically showing you where you're at. You can tap on it again, and it'll give you kind of what I think they call the course view, kind of like what you would see in a navigation app, where you're looking down and the direction you turn. Kind of may help in kind of orienting yourself if you're needing to go in a specific direction, you're not, kind of sure. So I think that's kind of a neat option. You'll see there's the two arrows at the top that are pointed at each other. If I tap it again, it goes back to kind of what they call compass view.
It's also north up view, north up.
Yeah.
There's 3 different views, yeah.
Yep.
So on our Garmin that we're used to, we have a trail up view, I think, and a north up.
Yep.
And when you're walking, I like the trail up on Garmin. And this Don just showed you how to do the same thing in your Gaia.
All right. Going to export a track and email it to someone. If you go in the bottom right-hand corner to saved, and you go to your folder and go down to your tracks, list of tracks, and click on any track that you have in your list. I'm gonna click on one from a few days ago, a hike we did. And I want to share this with someone. There should be an export option underneath there. Does everyone see the export? Now this one, this is where I was a little confused earlier. It's going to save this as what's called a GPX file. You can't text a GPX file. So this one has to be emailed. So when you want to save it as a GPX, you hit OK. And just like the map did, it comes up with your other apps that you can send things with. So if I try to send it in my text messenger, says I can't transfer that file because I can't put a file in a text message, so I have to email it. So if I hit export again, hit OK, and now I go to my email client, Outlook. I can now send it as an attachment in an email. And the waypoints work the same way. Well, actually a waypoint, I think you can actually send in a text. Let's try that. So I go back and hit my test 3 export. Nope, it's a GPX as well. So even a waypoint, you would have to email it, but.
Don,
Yep.
on my iPhone, I tried sending it as a text just to myself and it went through. So I don't know if it's just someone, different phones again.
Yeah, it might be. So you were able to send the file as a text?
A GPS with text message, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And were you
All
then
right.
able to open it on your phone after you got it from the text?
I don't know. I didn't do that.
In other words, was it usable?
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to what, save it somewhere and then.
If
Probably
you
have to
open
save
up
it
the text
somewhere.
message, yeah, I'm trying to even think what it would look like in there. Is it a link or is it may have sent you a link?
Let me go to the browser.
Yeah, so Tim just sent me some here.
I'm going to send it to you too, Don.
Yeah, so I got it and it's as a text. I just don't know what to do with it from now I got it. I gotta save it somewhere and then so I can open it.
Yeah, I'd like to see when Tim sends it, because I did, yeah, mine on my phone, it doesn't give me the option to, I can't even text it. So it must be a difference between an iPhone and an Android.
Yeah, it could be.
You send that, Tim?
It says failed to send.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
looks like
you can't really, yeah, I don't know if that was the actual file because you can't send files in text messages. I mean, text messages are just images and text.
Hey, Dave, you have an iPhone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Dave got it on an iPhone, but I couldn't
Yep.
send a text with a file to an Android.
Hmm.
It says unable to send when I
Okay.
click you done.
Okay.
So that wouldn't really be reliable in the field for us. You know,
No.
we'll test with iPhone switching, but it wouldn't be reliable on the iPhone because you don't know what the deputy might have, for example, or another member, Android versus iPhone. Yep, so I look at, I successfully text an attachment, one file to Dave McCoy's iPhone. But when I try to send it to Don and Peg, both of which are Androids, it says message send failure.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know.
We're learning.
Yeah. I like this feature, especially since a little newer to VSAR and I'm not as familiar with the area as some, is you can utilize the waypoints to drive to locations. So if you go down to the bottom right-hand corner and saved, your save folder, go to the VSAR folder. And I'm gonna just choose the first waypoint in the list, Skywalker Trailhead. I tap on it. I get the option of driving directions. And in my case, it's gonna open up in Google Maps. Probably you guys are gonna have it open up in Apple Maps. And I can route to the trailhead. So I think that's really neat. Everyone able to try that? Like if I don't know where, I definitely don't know where Purdy Man Trailhead is. Probably can't even get there by car.
Look at
Oh, that's up 89A there, huh?
Yeah, it's in Oak Creek Canyon.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that. It took you right there.
Yep.
It's a hell of a climb to get to the top, though.
And when you click on direct driving directions on iPhone, it takes you to Apple Maps.
Yep. So, okay. Toggle between partial and full mode. Okay. If you go back to your map view, I have to arrow back, or not too far. What's nice is if you want a little more screen, the arrows at the top, the 4 arrows that are pointing outward, if you tap on that, it will give you more map view and kind of hide the tools at the bottom and the top temporarily. If you want your tools back, you see in the square in the top left-hand corner there that arrows are pointing inward. Tap on it again, and it'll take you back to your view with your tools on the top and bottom. I think I covered making folders visible and invisible. So folders are a little different from map layers. Down in your saved in the bottom right-hand corner, your folders are the Don, in my case, Don or your name, and VSAR. So currently they are both off. The little I is covered with a cross. So if I want to turn both of those on, go back to my map view. I don't know if you noticed before, but the waypoints weren't there. These blue and purple lines weren't there. Those are tracks from either my folder or from the VSAR folder. You see, it could get pretty involved in an area. So that's kind of why I kind of like, unless you actually want to have one on that you know, maybe a previous search has been done and they have the track that, and the trail's either not there or it's not covered well, you know, you could have this on, but then you'll notice if I just go back to saved, turn both of these, go back to my map, you just have now your actual layers, your visible layers.
So Don, what did you just turn off? Was the
Yep, I can go back. I'm sorry?
Show me what you just turned off to get rid of the tracks.
Yeah, if you go into your saved folder,
Okay,
you probably have a VSAR folder and then your personal folder, right?
right.
To the right of those, do you see the little icons that look like an eye?
Yes.
Are they crossed out or not crossed out?
No, they're turned on.
Okay. Now, if you tap on it, then you will now turn off all of the features that are in that folder. So the tracks, the waypoints,
Okay,
the maps, then you won't see them on your map view
okay,
because it kind of could get messy a little bit in some cases.
yes.
But you may want them on, you know, depending on where you're at. And if you have, there's, you know, some trails and VSAR folder that are valuable. So,
Mhm.
okay.
Okay.
The other thing, yep.
When you go into VSAR tracks and you go down, so you could turn VSAR tracks off.
Oh yeah, you could turn, yeah, that's a good point.
You can turn individual trails on or off. Like if only I want Bear Mountain Trail, I can turn everything off except, and then turn Bear back on. See now here, they're all off. You can turn any one of those on, like turn HS Canyon on, yeah.
Sorry.
I have a question. How can you turn off waypoints?
It doesn't actually look like it gives you that option, at least on the Android.
So you just have to
turn them
individually
all
delete.
off.
Well, you turn them all. Yeah, you can't turn one individual one back on.
How do you turn them all off?
If you go, well, you'd be turning all the features off then. In the folder,
Yeah,
you see where the VSAR, that you see the I that's crossed out.
yes.
Is yours not crossed out?
Doesn't. I'm looking for waypoints only.
Yeah. Well, the waypoints are in that folder. So if you go into the VSAR folder.
And I turn off that whole folder, then the waypoints will be off also.
On the map.
Okay, let me try that then. I've got VSAR tracks off. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm away, so it's showing where I am right now. So, okay,
Oh,
got it. I
okay,
have to
yeah.
show, I have to turn off the whole folder to get
Yeah,
the
you're in
waypoint.
Tennessee, so.
I have to get the waypoints off. I have to have the folder where that particular track is and the waypoints on that track is what
So
you're
one
saying.
option would be that we could set up a VSAR waypoints and a VSAR tracks as two separate folders if that were to become something that we wanted to be able to control.
That might
I've got
be,
so many waypoints on my maps, on my map.
You just turn off that whole VSAR folder, Pig, and those waypoints then will go away.
Okay, and then just individually bring back the track that I want. Turn on the individual one. Okay, got it.
That would be a way.
it's a good point, Tim. Let's bring that up. Turn this on here. Go back to my map. What was the example we had here that we looked at? It had a lot. If you notice, I have the VSAR folder visible on my map. And you'll notice that the waypoints have numbers on them. So
Yeah.
you see the Devil's Bridge trailhead. To the left of that, there's one that says 6. This is that clustered waypoints. At this level of zoom, there's 6 points in that area, but you only see one with the number 6. As I zoom into that 6, you see how they break out?
Mm-hmm.
And now you see, and then now there's 2 and 3. So if I go to the 3 one and I zoom in a little closer, that breaks out to 2 more. Then I go into the 2, I almost have to probably be on top of them. There's probably 2. I saw 2 right here that were really close. See how?
Yeah.
At one point they combine into one. So that's what if you notice in your settings, there's something called clustered waypoints. When that's on, that's what it does. If it's not on, you're going to see just a one waypoint there with no number on it, but there could be 5 there. So just kind of similar to the labels on the roads or the trails. Sometimes you have to zoom in to see, more detail. Any questions on any of those items?
Nope.
Nope.
Tim, did you have anything else that you can think of that may have not?
Oh, I'm sure
Point it
there's
out, or
lots of
we-
things we can do with Gaia 3, okay? Yeah, but I think that's great for tonight, Don. You've really helped us a lot.
Okay.
That's excellent.
Yep.